Edit
Hey,
it.
what's up, Mark?
What's
Oh,
going on? Hold on. We on the
okay.
okay. Where you calling from, sir? We on live now. I'm on live, so I'm
I'm calling from.
go
I'm
ahead.
calling from. Okay, I'm calling from Maryville, Indiana.
Okay, just hold on, okay? Just hold on. You know, we got a new subject
Yes,
now.
sir.
It's we got I'm finna show a video, so you just stay online, okay? All right. You could turn your
Okay.
Facebook down, but you can listen to me. You'll hear everything. So I'm having a couple more callers on here too
Yeah,
as
I
well.
turned it down.
Okay,
I turned
perfect.
it down.
We're waiting on a few more people coming in. I'm gonna get some shout outs. Live, uncut, unedited. All right, people, come on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. All right. Zakira, I see you. 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 We got a wonderful show. We're going to be talking about this young man that was at school. Something happened to him, and I definitely want you guys to see and know what happened. So I want to share that with you. I'm going to share it on my screen. So the callers. If you can't get in on that 872 number 297-6389, you can call this number 872-299-0808. I got callers, they calling in too. So all my callers, just hold on. We're going to show the video first. We're going to let a few more listeners come in and we're going to talk.
Is this?
Yes, this is live. This is not freedom of speech. This is about about teachers. We finna show a video. That's what this is live, uncut, unedited, sir.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're welcome to stay on if you want
Okay.
to.
I thought this was about the freedom of speech.
No, man, this is a new one.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool too.
You can
Yeah.
stay. You can stay on. You can stay on. We're gonna talk about this. I'm finna show a video,
Okay.
and you can listen. We're done with the freedom of speech. That's set. This is a different segment. That's why I separate them because I didn't want to both be the same. All right, Tiffany, I see you. Vicky, I see you. Lisa, hey, I see you, Lisa. All right, Senor, I see you. I see you. I see you. All right, Katie, I see you. Jewel, I see you. Nathan, I see you. Those of you, I'm going to show a video. Jones, I see you. I see you. Darren Lee, I see you. Andrew Williams, I see you. Sheila Rogers, I see you. Summer Ann, I see you. People, this is live, uncut, unedited. Again, I always want to thank my YouTube family for coming in and learning about me. I know a lot of you guys on YouTube don't know who I am, but all I ask you, just listen, subscribe to my channel and watch what I do. The scripture said, you know the tree by the fruits it bear. And all I'm asking you is watch my fruits. I don't have to brag of who I am or what I do in the community. Just watch what I do. I'm going to lead by example. That's what I'm going to do. That's what all I'm about, leading by example. Now, am I perfect? I tell you 100% no. 100% no. I've always leave room for improvement. You know, life is some ups and downs, there's some battles. That's what it is. So anybody tell you that they're perfect probably won't make no mistakes. I'm afraid of them. But one thing I can stress that I'm perfect, and I got perfect love for my sister and my brother. Well, you said, well, Martin, why you say that? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. If I don't love you, I'm not going to tell you the truth. But if I love you, I'm going to tell you the truth in love. Not puffed up. Now, you know, some folks, they glory when another man make a mistake or when they see you down on your luck, if I may use that, or in life, or you in that dark place. I'm not that type of guy. I'm the type of guy that, hey, I'm going to love on you. I'm going to love on you. I'm going to tell you what's right. I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to get on with this video. I see Dr. Sanders on here too as well. And so I want all my listeners to hold on. I want to share this video, and I want you guys' opinion. I'm waiting. I believe the mom, she's going to call in. So I'm going to share this video with you guys, and I'm going to ask you what's your thoughts. I'm definitely going to ask you what your thoughts are, because listen, we need to, hey, I want to get this video up. I'm going to share this video with you guys, and hey, let me go grab and snatch this video real quick, and I'm going to grab it. All right. Let me grab this video, and I'm going to share the video. And all right, now I'm finna start playing the video. So listen up, y'all. Pay attention. Here we go. We finna do it right now, and I'm finna play this video. Let me get the sound right. Keep talking to you. Listen up. High school students.
That's the problem. That's the problem. You are a kid. So you need to be reminded. And that's all it is. Spirit. If you're going to be reminded.
Shut up.
Keep talking to you.
What's the problem? Shut up. Be out.
No, let him cry. You is. A grown man. Ain't no little boy. I'm a grown man. He gotta go.
That's why I said.
He gotta go.
Bitch, get out. Get the fuck out. Who? Who the fuck? You the fucking. Knock me out, folks. Knock me out, folks. Knock me out, folks. Knock me out, folks. Knock me out, folks.
Listen up, people.
You mad at blue. You a dumbass little boy. Boy.
All right, now listen. I'm going to play a little bit again. Now, she did call that young man a BICTH, which is not professional. And let me just say this, people. Let me just say this. I do respect to the parents and the school teachers as well. Now, I understand that we're living in difficult times now. We have young people will stand up and challenge your authority. We understand that. We live in a day and age. But there's a professionalism that we have to hold as being students, as parents and counselors and principals, no matter what. You have to hold that. You have to hold that. So you, at the end of the day, you have to hold that now. And I know, listen, just like if you're working in the grocery store, somebody cuss you out. Does that mean that you have to go back and forth with them? No. But let me play a little bit more of this video. So just in case y'all didn't hear that young lady. Now, I believe that she was a teacher aide and the man was the teacher. And I believe this is like a special ed class. So you know what you're dealing with right now. Working with this type of population. Hold on, I'm finna play it again. All right, now here we go. We'll run it back again.
Keep talking to you. Just keep talking to you. Period.
Listen to the female voice.
You are a kid. So you need to be reminded. And that's all it is. Spirit. If you're going to be reminded.
Shut up.
Listen.
What's the problem? Shut up. Be out.
No, let him cry. You is. A grown man. Ain't no little boy. I'm a grown man. He gotta go.
That's why I said.
He gotta go.
Bitch, get out.
Did y'all hear that swearing? She put her hand on him, see? Can't do that. All right, let me hold it right there. Let me just say something. Now, for the ladies that's watching me, and y'all know I got 4 beautiful daughters, and I love the ladies. I've always stand in the gap for you guys. But listen, as being ladies, you have to be careful when you jump in a young man's face, even a grown man's face. One thing about men are, if you crush their ego, they liable to lose it. Well, you say, well, Martin, he'll cower if he hit a woman. Yeah, you're right. But I'm just telling you how men feel, their ego. Listen, a man is quick to hit a woman than he is another man. I got to tell the truth and shame the devil. Y'all know the truth. I have to say that. And that doesn't make it right now. So don't say Martin giving the green light for men to put their hand on women. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just telling you how men express themselves, even younger men. Now, if you notice in the video, he did not really stand up to the man. Now, he exchanged words to the male teacher. If you notice in the video shows it clearly. But when the teacher, the assistant, called him a BICTH, that's not professional at all. That's not at all. We have to carry ourselves with a level of respect. And I understand sometimes we fed up to our neck and we can lose it. But listen, the professionalism for both of these teachers, it went out the window to me. Okay, I believe, I got a couple of calls. Okay, 3746. Are you the parent? Hello? 3746, the last 4 digits.
No,
You're not? Okay, I got, hold on, I got one person in front of you. I got the 219 number that called earlier. Come on, my brother, 219. Come on. 219.
Okay, yeah. This me, Mark. I kind of couldn't understand what was going on and who was the teacher and what student. But nevertheless, the teachers are supposed to have some type of control over, you know, what they say and how they approach. Now, that woman poking her finger in that boy's head is just, that right there is totally unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, men are quicker to, you know what I'm saying, try to hit a woman first because they figure that a woman's supposed to stay in their place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't understand with nowadays with these young dudes, with all this violence going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even me as a male, I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm getting out the way. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no telling what these fools got up their sleeve. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a little bit unprofessional. And then nowadays, you know, you can't discipline kids now because, you know, the DCF get involved and the police talk about this abuse and all that. So it's all a catch-22, man. It's like, you know what I'm saying, we stuck in a hard place right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, with all this violence going on, you can't discipline nobody.
Well, let me say that. Let me say, brother,
you know,
let me just say this. As a parent, you can discipline your child. You can't beat them. Let me say that. Because, see, some people use that as, you can discipline. You can't
Who
beat
said they
them.
couldn't beat him?
Right.
I heard that. I heard
You
that.
can't beat them, but you know what I'm saying? It's hard to discipline these kids now, even with if you want to call it, what is it called? Not beating, but corporal punishment. I don't know if that's considered beating or just like spanking a child with a belt or something. You know what I'm saying? It's a thin line with that also, Mr. Martin. So you got to be careful when you call yourself disciplining your kid and I just whooped them with a belt. They will still drag you in court, man, for that.
Well,
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this, my brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me just say this. I've never been in court. And what I used to do as a parent, I used to have my child open up the palm of their hand and I'd take a belt and whoop that little palm right there. Because I know if I hit them on their body, I'm going to leave some whips. I knew that, but I used the hand. So that's what I did as a parent. Now, because you're not going to live in my house and I can't discipline you. You're not going to tell me what to do in my house as the breadwinner, as a parent.
My mother was the same way.
And I'm not saying throw a child out the window, pick up a skillet and bust their head with it and all that. I'm not, now, I'm not saying that. I want to say something a little deeper than that. But for those little teenagers that think you tough and you run up on some of your parents will beat you down like a man. So you got to be careful, little teenagers, run up on your parents like you full grown and like you're going to whoop them. And some of them would leave you where you standing. So hold on, my brother. I appreciate your opinion.
That's how my parents were.
Yeah. Hold on, brother. I got one caller next. Just stay online. Okay, Dr. Sanders, 1207. Come on, Dr. Sanders. She work on both sides of the spectrum. She work with students, so she know how it works. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead.
Let me share this with all of you all. And this is from working with Chicago Public Schools. I've worked as a paraprofessional and I've worked as a substitute teacher. I have seen a lot of students in the schools jump on top of the desk after the teachers have told them to sit down and be still. They don't listen. They don't. They won't. They come to school with their zuzu and wham-whams, have the classrooms, they were coming there clean, semi-clean, which I mean, the schools we know are older, but they come in and it's clean. And their babies come in there, and what do? They sit up there, they have their phones, they have the burner phones, and they don't listen to nobody. I'm speaking from experience. I had to have a conversation with quite a few intermediate, middle school, and even kindergarten that just don't freaking listen. You tell them to sit down, they look at you like you're crazy. You tell them, don't talk like that, yes, I will. We experience a lot that parents don't see. And when we tell them to not do something, then guess what we do? Now, me being 55 years old, I'm not going to argue with your child because guess what? I whooped mine with a belt, so DCFS come and get me right now. They're grown and they're not in jail and they're not dead. The Bible told me to spare the rod, spoil the child, and it says the belt, the rod of correction would drive a foolishness out of the heart of a child. So you have an obligation, not the freaking law, because I've heard judges say, what happened to using the belt? Now, I've heard children, even at the school I was at, that were literally, that actually a worker got into it with the student. Let me tell you how that went. The student got mad at another student, threw something at the student. When they threw it at the student, that person told them, pick it up. No, I ain't pick it up. Sugar, honey, iced tea. That's your job. That's how these kids talk to adults. I'm telling you what I've seen.
Well, can I say something?
I'm getting ready to call it quits with CPS.
Can
Wait a minute, Martin, let me say this.
Okay, let me be quiet. Go ahead.
There's a lot of there are a lot of workers in the school. Some of them don't need to be employed because they cannot handle the environment. A lot of them become too loose with them. Now, I agree that when you are a professional, now let's leave the teachers out because the teachers make more money than we do. The paraprofessionals and the substitutes are the people who actually deal with the students one-to-one. We go on trips with these kids. We go to the Special Olympics with these kids. Your Johnny and Susie act up. We tell them to stop. They don't want to stop. This is what is being brought to the public school. Now, the University of Woodlawn Charter School, two of my children went there. Malcolm and, Denzel and Kathleen. Now, Kathleen, when she was there, one of the girls tried to hurt Kathleen. I'm sorry. I told my children, if anybody put their hand on you, you better take them down. My daughter took down two girls at that school. And the University of Chicago Charter School is a newer school in the area. They was one of the last schools built prior to the laboratory school. And that school has a different accreditation system. So anybody's kids that go there, they go to public school, they will not get the same credit there. They won't. I promise you they won't.
Okay. Hold it, sister.
My thing is,
go ahead. Because I got another call. I wanted to call us.
We as paraprofessionals, we actually deal with these students on a day-to-day basis, from kindergarten up to 8th grade. And we deal with the talk back. We deal with all of that. Now, me personally, I walked to them and I said, now, let me have a conversation with you. Now, let me call your mom and daddy. No, I don't want to. I said, okay, now I want you to do something. See, I know how to work with them in an area where I don't send them off. I don't put my hands on them. That's one thing I don't do. But these kids' mouths, yes, they do. They will provoke you. What that lady did, I don't know what her position is.
She
should not have.
She is
what is she?
She's a assistant to the teacher. I believe that's a special ed class. And she's
okay. Now this. Let me break this down. You have a teacher.
Dr. Sanders. I need you to hold up. Dr. Sanders, I need you to hold up. I'm gonna let you talk again. Let me just get this other call. They've been holding on for a long time too as well. I hold that thought. I'm gonna let you go because I know you got way more experience than I do to talk about this. Okay, caller, 3746. Come on, real quick. And I'm going back to Dr. Sanders. 3746. Come on, caller. 312. Come on.
Yes, that's me. I'm Stephanie. That's my son.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Stephanie. So tell us what you observe. What's going on?
What's going on is disbelief.
Okay.
That's what's going on.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna drill you a little bit. So,
on whose side, your son's side or the teacher's side?
This her son. That's her son. Hold on. Let me.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Let me just say something, bro.
I understand, but I'm just wondering what she disbelieves in. Okay.
Brother. Let me handle this. Okay, I got this. I'm gonna talk. This is the parent.
Yes,
she the one gave me the video, put it up. So I want her to talk. I'm going to interview her. I'm gonna let Doctor talk. I'm gonna let you talk. Period. I want to hear where she see things. Okay. Now, as a parent, How did you view this? Give me your overall view. Was you agreeing with this video or disagreeing with this video? That's what I'm asking you. Go ahead, my dear sister.
Again, when I got a hold of the video, one of my son's classmates recorded the video, and I received the video. I was disgusted. I couldn't believe what I was seeing as a parent, as an adult. I couldn't believe what was going on, what was taking place in that video.
Now,
my son is 14 years old. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to cut you off real quick. Remember, we talked earlier. Now, the teacher, the female teacher, I believe is an assistant. She did reach out to you, right, at first before the video.
She's a paraprofessional.
Okay, yes. So tell me.
Yes, she reached out to me
before this video surfaced, correct? Okay, what was some things she said to you?
She called me after the incident. You can clearly see her at the end of the video walking to get her phone. She immediately called me. She goes on to tell me that it was an incident that occurred in the classroom. She told me that my son was being aggressive. He was being disrespectful. He lunged at them. And she did tell me that she poked him in the face with her nail in her defense. So I'm just like, oh my God, I immediately apologize for his behavior as a parent. That's not how he was raised. I attend church. He was baptized. Like, that's not how he was raised. But everything, I've done things when my parents wasn't around that I wasn't supposed to do. So I would have definitely handled that situation. So I immediately apologized for his behavior. I went on to ask her, was she okay? Because she did mention that he lunged at her and she sounded like she was kind of shaken up about the situation. So I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? This could have been differently. You could have pressed charges on him for lunging at you. And, I'm more concerned about her at this point and angry at him.
Mm-hmm.
So later on that evening, I received the video. When I see the video, it's like a total distortion of the version she gave me. I see a totally different version. Like, she's cursing. I immediately turned it to her. I received this video shaking my head. She tried to call me. She apologized for cursing. At that point, I couldn't do it. I couldn't talk to her. I was trying to process the whole video. I kept looking at it. I couldn't understand, what a dog go back and forth with a 14-year-old. And that's like, he made two true statements. He did say that he was a dog, which was true. He did say my son was a child, which was true. But what a dog sit up there and go back and forth with a 14-year-old that has the mentality of a 12-year-old. Like, y'all should have been trained to handle that situation. Like, I'm not downplaying anything my son did, but he is a special education child. Like, he do have a disability. So that situation, it could have been handled 100 different ways. Like, she was the aggressive. She put everyone in danger once she became physical with him. Because at that point, if he would have lunged back and picked up a chair and hit somebody else that was innocent, then what then? So she's actually the one that put everybody in danger. And I sit back and I listen to all the comments and I listen to everybody's perspective on the situation. But he was not a threat to her. Like, she calls him a bitch before he even called her a goofy ass little girl. Like, you can clearly hear her saying, bitch, get out. Like, she walks up on him and everything.
So, Mother, what you saying?
She proceeded to follow him out the door.
Okay. So what you're saying, Mother, is that your son is in a cluster group, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, the reason I say that is because Martin just showed the video, and he was just getting my perspective of how we deal in Chicago public schools. She's a paraprofessional. I'm not sure if University of Chicago use seekers like they do with CPS, but they probably use TAs. So in special ed cluster group, because that's who I work with, you cannot be aggressive with those type of students, whether they're from pre-K all the way up. I know that because I've worked with them, and a lot of them can be in their own little modes. Now, if she was trained right through her program at the university, now, once again, I'm not going to compare them with CPS. So let me go over here with mother. So her child is in that area. So he can have some modes that may be bothering him. And sometimes when you work with a cluster special ed students, you have to know where they're at. I had a baby girl. The little girl drove me crazy. But you know what? I fell in love with her. You know why? Because I picked something to be able to conversate with her. When you're working with special ed cluster students, they're going to have their moments. They're going to have their times.
But he was being provoked, and that hurt me as a parent. He was being provoked. If you look at the video, he's telling my son, go ahead and cry, let him cry. So you telling, like, my son, like, mine, he making me feel like it's not okay to cry. Like, he made my son feel like he was weak for sharing the tear. Oh, let him cry. Go ahead. As a parent, like, that hurting my feelings. Like, why would you say, oh, let him cry? He needs to cry. It's like he wanted my son to get up out that chair, but my son is not aggressive. Like, why would you do that?
Okay, mother.
And he was
so
walking out the door like he was...
Take a deep breath. I feel you over here. I do. Take a deep breath. I want you to, you're frustrated, you're angry, you want to stop the dog being at somebody. I want you to take a breath right now. Take a breath. So the teacher, this is the thing. A lot of the teachers that are not trained to work with students, I want her to get a breath because she about to kill somebody. I don't want her to, look, I ain't got no bail money. But if he came at her son aggressively like that, then that should have been automatically addressed with the principal, because the teachers cannot, none of them cannot come at any special ed cluster student in a provoking manner, because a lot of them are not trained. And it's hard for them to even work with cluster students, because some of them, depending on the grade level they're at different grade levels of teaching. So if he provoked her son, he, as a professional teacher, instructor, should have not taken it to another level with him. Because cluster and
it's not in the video, but he called my son gay and everything. Like, that's what.
That's automatic. That's automatic fire. That's an automatic fire.
And I reached out to his grammar school, and they told me that, he was never, when I told his football coach about the situation, he was like, he was never supposed to say that he was gay, and what if he was gay? He literally just outed him. It was a lot that led up to that situation. I'm so hurt as a parent. I thought that I was putting him in a better situation by sending him to that charter school. They said that everything I'm trying to motivate and build up in my son, they sat there and threw it down in one incident. She called my son dumb and dirty and everything.
Let me say
something.
Dr. Sanders.
Let me say this.
Okay, go ahead, because I want the brother to say something. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead. I want the brother to say something.
The state of Illinois, CPS required us to take state school modules. We take school module training in reference to students that refer to themselves whatever they want to be. We have to treat that as what they want to be. If they want to go in the girls' bathroom, they can go to the girls' bathroom. That's how we were trained for that. So there's a law. No, right. I'm just saying. But in general, that's what they do. But the thing of it is that I'm not sure how to. I know when Kathleen had a fight with a girl, I had to come up to University of Chicago School a couple of times, and I pulled her out, her and Denzel out. So the thing of it is that did you make contact with the principal? Did you explain to he or she, whoever? Okay,
no, I can't touch her. She won't. She's not even available to me. It's been more than 72 hours, and I can't even reach her. She hasn't.
Now they have a main office. No. They have a main office.
Let me just say
she has a boss.
Okay, let me just say.
She has a boss.
Let me say this, Dr. Sanders. Now, this happened Thursday of last week. No one have reached out to this parent, and her son has not been suspended or kicked out, expelled, or any of these things. So it's she made a police report. She made a police report, and come and find out that one of the female teachers or assistant, she resigned. That's what she was told to the parent. Now, for the male teacher, he wasn't at work, so we don't know what his fate is there at that particular school. So my thing is,
no, they told me they escorted him off the premises, and they told me they escorted him off the premises Friday, and he couldn't come back this week. So after this week, because they'll be going into winter vacation, I don't know what's gonna go on. After this week, that's the most
investigation. That's what they're gonna do. Investigation. Right. If they're following the same protocol as CPS, they're gonna have an investigation, get his side of the story, get your side of the story from what you know. Make a determination.
But I want to say one thing. Everybody, they have their opinions. My son was wrong, but she's a very aggressive person as well. Like, I went on her social media, and she's a very aggressive. So, like, that's just her nature. Like, she shouldn't have been in the classroom anyway. It's like she was living a double life. So, even though he was cursing, her getting angry and lunging at him and actually putting her hands on him, I feel like that's just what she do according to her social media.
Well, let me say this, sister. I'm going to let the brother talk. Lady, I'm going to let the brother talk. Hold on, brother. I'm going to let you talk. 219. Listen, any woman out there, you can't call no man a B and act and expect him not to buck up at you. It's going teenager, little boy, all that. I'm telling you, some of us grown. We don't want no woman calling us no B. It's about grown men. So that's just the nature of a man. He's going to stand up, defend himself. Now, if you notice, he did go back and forth with the teacher, but he never got aggressive with the male teacher. Now, when she called him a B, that's when he went at it then. Called her goofy. Just go back and listen to it. Because, see, a lot of y'all going to watch the video one time, and that's it. Ain't going to pay no attention. Listen to it. Not only watch it, but listen to the words that are said in the video. Listen. That's all I'm asking you guys to listen. And I'm gonna be quiet right here. I'm going to let the male talk, and then Dr. Sanders, then the student. Come on, my brother. 219. Come on, brother. Come on, my brother.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Doctor,
thank you for holding.
I want to ask you a question. They don't. Yeah, that's okay. They with even with CPS and these charter schools, these teachers, they don't be taught de-escalation techniques. You know what I'm saying? Especially dealing with special ed students or behavioral aggressive students. Because like I said in the beginning, I wouldn't have went back and forth with the student anyway. You know what I'm saying? For the simple fact because I want to keep my job and then second of all, I will be concerned about my safety also. So I wasn't siding with anybody, and even with the adult male teacher, that was his classroom. First of all, he should have intervened and de-escalated the situation. It should have never get that far. So her resigning is okay, but that dude should not be in the classroom because it seemed like he stood by and let it go on. And then not only that, he did some name calling himself. So I'm not understanding where these people getting their training at. You know what I'm saying? Now they short the body. So, if you don't got no background, okay, you hired. How long is this training? Do you have hands-on de-escalation training? What's going on here? You feel what I'm saying? Because for them to do
what happens is
like
this.
That, Go ahead.
We are trained. Teachers assistants with CPS. Let me go to CPS. We have teachers assistants. They're a part of the CTU. The SEEKers, which are called Special Education Class Assistants, we're part of SEIU. We have a different union. But we are trained through modules how to de-escalate a situation, especially with those students that are in cluster special ed. A lot of the teachers that are doing the training, they're overpopulated with students. And that's why with CPS, a lot of our cluster schools have 2 or 3 special education class assistants and maybe 1 TA. We are trained. The problem is that those training modules don't regulate a person's thinking in the know what they're doing. I've seen a lot of teachers that are stressed out. Number one, the teachers are underpaid, and the TAs are underpaid. A lot of the TAs and the SEEKers are underpaid, under $40,000 a year, with just barely enough benefits. They don't make no money. And so a lot of them take these jobs. Now, as a seeker, I know that you can, work, you can go take a test and become a seeker, but a lot of them don't gravitate to that. By me being an educator, but a parent and a grandmother, I know from the training of working with students decades ago, okay? So I know how to de-escalate a situation. I know how to keep them out the principal's office. One of the principals told me, Dr. Sanders, no, I'm not coming to you because I know how to do it. I know how to do it. But there are some that are not taught to do it. So there's not like a school to go to do it. They give you these modules. The modules would give you examples of how to deal with situations, but a lot of them, just don't know how. And it is a stressful job. It's underemployed with, you know what I mean?
And underpaid. And I understand. Okay.
And they're underpaid.
But okay, I understand that. But you know what I'm saying? Let me say this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know because I'm not a teacher, but I am a parent. But I don't care how much money is involved. You know what I'm saying? You should be trained, or you should have some type of psychological assessment. You know what I'm saying? And I think some teachers do have psychological assessments to get hired through CPS. I don't know about the other charter schools, but I'm gonna say this: it doesn't matter. The money is not the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's how to deal with another human being. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have social skills and human being, just straight out human being skills, then you're in the wrong field. That's all I'm saying. You know,
you're right. And you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Because what happens
being
is
underpaid and classrooms being overcrowded, but that has nothing to do with social skills.
Well, let's leave the money out the area. There are a lot of teachers, TAs, or paraprofessionals, as they call it, that are not connected to students the way it is. I have one little boy, and he's just so handsome, and he told me, "Come home with me for Christmas." I want to see, because I know how to treat them, but I know how to keep it in line. And if they get out of line, I know how to get it back in there. So it's a very stressful job, but a lot of times I actually fought CPS for just hiring anybody to do something, and they're not capable of doing it. I work with special kids that they just have all these emotions going. But guess what? They know how to stop by command, because in their IEPs, the IEPs will tell you how to deal with that student. Okay. That's an assessment that we have to read in order to know how to deal with the student, because some of the students are foster kids. Some of the school students come from abusive areas. Now, with CPS, anytime a charter school wants to be in existence, they got to go through CPS to get approved. That's the way it goes. So when University of Chicago first was established,
when
it was first coming on the scene.
Okay, let me talk to the parent real quick. I need to ask her a question. Okay, Mom, you there? Mom?
Yes, I'm here.
How you doing? Okay, I'm gonna just tell you like this, Mom. I'm gonna give you my opinion of it, my assessment, if I was just say. I'm with you on this one. And I know these children, these teenagers and something else, they rough. I know they could be tough dealing with them. But when you are in a professional setting, I know, right. But I understand. I'm just letting you know where I'm at. Right. I want to be out and open. I'm not, I got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
Tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
They handled it wrong. They handled it wrong. As being professionals, they handled it wrong. Both of them. First of all, as a male teacher, you didn't have no business doing, this is what they do. These are this is fighting gestures. When you putting your hand against your hand, those fighting gestures. And I know you got to stand up and let that male, alpha male come out of you, but in certain ways you have to handle that as being on a job. You're not on a CTA bus. You're not on a train. You're not in the public outside. You're on a job setting. There are rules of engagement when you handle students, because if it wasn't for no students, you wouldn't be employed. None of the teachers or the maintenance people, whoever in that school, the lunchroom, it's because the students have rights, people. Like I tell y'all, criminals have rights. Students have rights. That young man should have never been called out his name, gay. He should have never been poked in the face with male, female finger. She should have never done that. Calling the man names and all that. That's
even if he was in the wrong, Mr. Mark.
Right.
They shouldn't have done that.
Right. That's all I'm saying. And I know.
Right, no.
Yeah. Okay, I know the teenagers is rough. I know they carry guns and weapons, but the mom had a great point. Suppose her son would have got aggressive and started picking up and throwing chairs, and innocent students got hurt. This thing would have been all on the news everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. That's all I'm saying.
Then they want to throw handcuffs on them.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then they want to throw handcuffs and make him look like the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, man. It's sad that people did that, man.
It's not a good thing. A lot of the teachers that get into this field, some of them, you have some that are good that don't get involved with things like that, and they know how to control areas. But the main problem is that with the charter schools, although they get their licensure recognition from CPS, because CPS controls the city of Chicago's schools. So the thing about it with Woodlawn Charter School, when I had to deal with the principal at the time, I didn't like how he would talk, because they have a big thing, a responsibility on their head. I do understand that. However, a lot of the teachers that come through, whether it's CPS or charter school or parochial schools, they need to understand that when you're working with all students, that includes, there's no segregation here. You just have a group that have a special need. And they're like everybody else. They go to the bathroom like everybody else, they eat like everybody else. But there's a way that you have to treat them and not be aggressive with them. If you don't like the job that you're doing or the classroom, let the principal know this is not for me. It's simple as that. It's not for me. Go and tell them who you want to teach, who you want to be with. Because when I, look at the video, like I said, most of the TAs that I've seen a lot of paraprofessionals cuss back at students because they talk back. And I've seen that back and forth. But when you're dealing with special and cluster group, you have to be extra sensitive to their need. And if the woman, what she should not have done, this is another thing that I noticed. As a mother said, she told her one thing, but the video said something else. You don't need a conflicting manner. Because if you told the mother that, your son was aggressive and blah, 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 but then when she see the video, she sees something different. That's the problem. The TA should have been honest to say, I lost my cool with your son because whatever. It's one thing to try to tell the parent one thing. What we do, we have the parents' phone numbers. We have their phone numbers. And just like the little girl I had, her father, I would text her father. And what I did, I recorded the whole thing and I sent it to his phone so he could see. That's what I did.
Dr. Sanders.
You know why? Because I wanted him to see what she's doing.
I got another caller. Let me hear what this caller said. Hey, caller, 7708. Hey, caller, where you calling from? Caller?
West suburbs, west suburbs.
West suburbs. How you doing? Hey, caller, before you say anything, anybody else that want to call in, you can call 872-299-0808, or you can call 872-297-0009. 6389. If you can't get in one of those numbers, call the other numbers. Go ahead, Western Suburbs. Go ahead. What's your take on this?
So I worked most of my professional career as a school social worker in schools. I've worked in some of the rougher areas in the area, west side and south side. I've worked in the suburbs. And I've worked with mainly the special ed population, students that have IEPs and 504 plans, and the general population of students. And so this video, unfortunately, I've seen situations like this. And the first thing I was trying to do is figure out what's going on here. And just from face value, it seemed to be that the adult and or adults were escalating a situation. That student was sitting down, and it seemed like this student was being agitated for whatever reason. We don't have the full scope of what's going on. It seemed like the video started when it really started to escalate. But the child was sitting down. He wasn't throwing nothing. He wasn't standing on top of nothing. And there's a few things I want to say here. Of course, we know that teachers are expected to exemplify restraint, discipline, and control. I understand we're all humans and we can all lose it. We all have bad days. But there's certain levels to classroom management and knowing how to de-escalate a situation. If this doesn't go well, if you're having difficulties with a student, there's certain procedures you can follow. You know what I mean? And I've been in schools where, as a social worker, we were told not to touch a student, even if they, for example, was fighting one another. You call security. If you put your hand on that particular student in this particular school, then it's a liability issue, and you mess around and get locked up. So there's certain people for that. You know what I mean? Now, some people, like myself and other school districts, and let's say CPS charter school, I'm CPI trained. Therefore, I have de-escalation techniques, and I am certified to apprehend a student, restrain a student, but not everyone has that certification. It may be only 10 people in the whole school staff that have that specific certification. But it's a whole bunch of things that happen before we even get to that. And I didn't see any procedures being followed. Sometimes if a student is really out of hand, you might want to isolate that student and remove all the other students from the classroom if it's really that bad. It's a few things to do, and I just didn't see any procedures being handled. It didn't seem like that student needed to be restrained, and not to minimize what he might have done, but it was language. And if you're not trained to deal with language for some of these students, and you're not going to make it in that field. You're not going to survive because it's almost expected. A lot of these students, they're just not going to respect you just because you're an adult and you think you deserve respect. It go both ways with a lot of these youth these days. You can't just talk to them any type of way and demean them in front of their peers. This everything they got, they social life. So you can't make them out to be embarrassed, because it's gonna be a problem. And one thing I don't do is I don't go back and forth with students, because you already lost the power of control. Once you go back and forth, you already lost that fight. They finna ride you, they finna talk about you. So that whole lesson for the day is lost. Ain't no instruction happening that day once you go back and forth.
Right,
it's a lost instruction. Exactly. And so you lost the battle as soon as you engage with that. As soon as you engage, so you have to, you take one of your leaders in the classroom. Look, I need you to read this, take the lead on this. I need you to take care of this lesson, pull it out in the hallway perhaps. Talk to him one-on-one. Or you get a safe adult in the building, whoever this kid has a pretty good relationship with, and you try to have them talk to him. Or you know what? Sometimes you let that student just chill for the day. All right, you're going to sit there and do your own thing. Just don't disrupt the rest of us.
Yep.
And try to work with the students who are actually willing to learn that day. And then you just try to get the next day. That's the awesome thing about being a school professional. No matter how bad the day is today, you can recreate yourself the next day and try to start fresh the next day. And if it becomes a problem with a student, it's really can't be still or receive the information, then maybe we need to see what type of accommodations can work for this student. Maybe we need to place this student in a different environment. Maybe this student is not a student for this particular environment.
Well said. Well
exactly,
said.
exactly. And so that's you
That's
assess
what that
that.
Mr. Social Work.
Yeah, but what you can't do is have adults who don't exemplify these things that we expect the kids to exemplify. We can't have adults behaving this way because then it gives the student all the power, and we can't do that.
Exactly.
Do it.
Because
And the thing about it is that when this
let the parent speak. Go ahead, parent.
I heard her tell, I heard her tell my son over and over again, shut up, shut up, shut up. But not once when Mr. P walked up in his face, not once did she say, okay, you in his personal space, he's sitting down. She did not once tell that teacher, like, calm down. You know, remember why you here to do a job. None of that. It was shut up, bitch, get out. You know, like, I was just in disbelief. Like, I was embarrassed to even be black. Like, they was just, like, clowning and acting a fool up in that classroom. They never not once called security. Security heard the commotion in the hallway and ended up coming in the room. And at that point, my son stood up and walked out the room. And that's when he called her goofy or whatever. And that's when she walked up on him and proceeded to put her hands on him. But everybody judging him. But I went on her social media like she should have never been in that classroom. Like, hey, you're 27 years old. Like, at what age do the brain really become mature? Like, you see, it's like she was living a double life. Like, you aggressive on your social media page, so she had no problem putting her hands on my child. Like, I would have handled him. Like, he displayed bad judgment, but again, he's 14 with the mentality of a 12-year-old. And as a parent, that hurt my feeling. Like, I wasn't there to protect him. And, like, I'm believing what she said. Had I not seen that video, I would not have believed my child. And I had to apologize to him. Like, I felt like shit. Like, I didn't believe my own child. Like, I believed her over my child. And that hurt me.
Yeah. And somebody did comment on here, like, what if it, and somebody did comment on here and said, what if it wasn't no video? We all have been jumping on that boy, talking about he wrong, he bogus, he bad as hell. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous, man.
Well, this is the
Go
thing.
ahead, Dr. Sanders.
Now, with CPS, the students technically, some of the schools are not supposed to have their phones in the classroom. Mm-hmm. They, at one point, but after the pandemic was lifted, at one of the schools I was at, we actually collected the cell phones because students was on the phones during the class time. So what happened was that a lot of the students would do whatever they wanted to do to get burner phones and give those phones in the classroom. They would take the burner phones in there, and they would do what they wanted to do because a lot of fights that we've seen, and the social worker gentleman can say this. A lot of the fights that took place with students was coming off of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and whatever else. Mm-hmm. So they would bring it into school. So they technically are not supposed to have, depending on the principal now, their phones. Now, the school I'm at over east, the kids they do bring their phones, but they cannot be on them. But now the TA, if she's in the classroom and the man, she should have removed both of themselves out in the hallway and had a conversation. Because of the fact the TA is a teacher's assistant. She doesn't have any jurisdiction over the teacher. Her mind is not mature enough to say, listen, you need to de-escalate the situation a little differently. Her mind is not like that. A lot of TAs are not like that. So if she quit, that's what she needs to do. So, Mama, I'm going to ask you this. What do you want to do? And I want you to be honest. Because I can help you write something that will help you to be able to get to the main school, because that principal has a boss. And that boss is not in that building. That building is right across over this way, not too far from me. What do you want to do?
At this point, I want to file a lawsuit. Nobody is responding to me. The communication is off. I haven't heard from anybody. I reached out to Martin to bring some awareness to this situation. So at this point, I feel like I just want to file a lawsuit. I'm going to see if I have a case.
All right. Mom.
You got a case.
Yeah, hold on, Mom. And Dr. Sanders, I got a new call. I want to see I think this is a new caller, or they just probably 7708. Is that a new caller? No, they hung up. The new caller hung up.
No, that's me, Martin. But one thing I want to say real quickly, Martin, I just want to get this one little thing in.
Go ahead.
A recommendation you might want to do too, Mom, is you might want to ask for a formal apology and encourage the school to get these professionals, if they stay in their roles, to demand that they get classroom management and de-escalation training before they step foot again in another classroom, because clearly it seems like they created the environment. Okay.
She don't want her child in that school, period.
I definitely don't want them to be able to teach again. Like the situation with Tyler Cordy, and I don't feel like they should be able to teach again. That's just how I feel as a parent.
Yeah, well, that's something that's kind of out of your control. They probably gonna stay employed, whether it's with that school or not. They probably gonna end up employed at some point again through a school, because it's such a shortage. To be honest with you, that's just
I definitely filed a police report. I did file a police report. I do have a court date. I did ask them because they put a flag on her. Whatever it is, they say they would flag it, so if she tried to apply for another teaching job, you know, it would come up in the system.
Who, the teacher's assistant?
Yes.
The TA? Okay. Yes. Now, Illinois State Board of Education, they're the ones who issue the license for paraprofessionals and TAs. So the Illinois State Board, if they get that information, then they will block her and sanction her for where she would not be able to be a TA. Or even if she was CPS, she would not be able to. They issued that because I applied. That's how I know. I applied through ISBE, Illinois State Board of Education, to obtain my paraprofessional license, which allowed me to be either a TA or a SECA, and I also have my substitute license. So it will go back to ISBE. That's who they would sanction her from being able to work as a TA. She will not be able to with the Illinois State Board of Education. She won't be able to work in that profession. I know that for a fact.
Okay, guys, I need you guys to hold on.
You know what, Dr. Sanders, this is way around it. You mess around and go to a charter school. They mess around and go to a charter school and get employed. So
that is a charter school where it happened.
There's little loopholes around that.
Well,
okay.
Yeah,
that's a charter school.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my brother.
Let me say one thing, and I'm gonna leave. I want to say this to the doctor, and I want to say this to Mr. Social Worker. This is a prime example. This video right here is a prime example to be taught for de-escalation to all teachers, CPS, and charter schools right here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This should be taken to the state of Illinois, to the Illinois School Board, and this right here should be a prime example for teachers and substitute teachers and seekers and whatever else you want to put the label on. This is a prime example that it should be on-hands training and not modules for de-escalations. Everything in here went wrong.
Okay, listen, I want, before you guys talk.
To be honest with you, this not even the worst example.
Listen.
This not even the worst example. Exactly. But I definitely agree with you, but this not even, this is clearly, like I said, the adults agitating the situation.
Let me just say some guests on my panel. I want to play the video one more time, but I want you guys to listen to the words, catch the words. You know, catch the words. Those are just listen, because a lot of times we look at videos and we look at them at 1 or 2 times. Sometimes we have to look at this thing at least 10 times to really get the message and get all the fine details. Just listen to the message. Right. Just listen real close. I'm gonna play it again, people. I'm gonna play it again.
You don't know what? Keep talking to you. Just keep talking to you. Period. You shut up! Let me see your tears, bro. That's the problem. That's the problem. You are a kid. So you need to be around. And that's all it is. Period. If you're going to be around.
Shut up!
Keep talking to you.
What's the problem? Shut up. Be get out.
No, let him cry. You is. A grown man. Ain't a little boy. I'm a grown man.
All right, that's disturbing. Did you guys listen? All right. Who wants to comment? We're gonna. I'm gonna let you guys comment. Go ahead, Doctor. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
Social worker said, "Mother, you can. The attorneys, lawyers. Let Martin know. We can get you the lawyer. Because what happened, it should not have happened. But like the social worker said earlier, we don't know what started way before that time leading to that. So now you got to go up to that time. But all these teachers, if I can, Martin, because I gotta get up and we got an assembly tomorrow.
Okay.
Teachers, if you don't like working with students, regardless if they're special ed, regardless if they're cluster, please get into another area in education. Because Martin, I think you remember when I went through with Daniel and I challenged Principal Bryant over at
Fisk.
No, what's her name? Miller. I had no problem. CPS had to really back off of me because I came at them. I was the mother that talked about Chief Keith. I came after CPS. I sure did. It's still up there. But if you don't like working with students, regardless, then you need to find another area in education. Because a lot of parents are not going to tolerate any type of abuse to their child, no matter if they're clustered or not. Find you another field in education that you'll be better in. You maybe want to be a student advocate, maybe a student liaison. But if you can't handle that, I guarantee you, the next situation will not be good. The next situation will not be good. Mom, you get the lawyer. You can request the lawyer to go to ISPE to sanction her license. And then that way, she will not be able to work. Now, a lot of times, some will say, like he said, the social worker say, you'll find loopholes in charter schools. Because in charter schools, you don't have to have a teaching 75, a certificate 75. So the thing of it is that with CPS, you do have to have your license. That's ISPE's law. But mother, if you need me to do anything to help you, I'll be more than happy to. Mine have my information. But I want you to know that I love you. If you want your son to go to another school, let me know. I do know a couple of the principals who are not wishy-washy and flaky that would be more than happy to take your son in and could start January 9th. At my school, how old is he?
He's 14 years old.
Oh, okay. Is he eighth? He's ninth grade. Okay. Yeah. One of my dearest friends is AP. I can talk to if you want me to, but I want you to continue to fight for your son. I apologize. Although it's not a CPS student, I apologize of your experience. You should have never done that. Never ever seen that experience today with your child. And to that TA that's out there, you need to go back and review what you did to this mother's child. It could have been your life after work. Because she had every right to defend. A mother would kill for her child. I know I will. And I stand on it.
Because if it was her child.
But mother, if you need any help, mother, you need any help, you got
yes, ma'am, I do. Here. Thank you.
Okay, I got the information.
And Martin will give you my information. And I will, because I had a problem with University with Woodlawn Charter School. My daughter defended herself, and she took 2 girls down, and I pulled my daughter out because I told them, I'm gonna have your head on the platter with the apple. And I did not refer anybody to go to University of Woodlawn Charter School. I'm sorry, and I'm not saying all the teachers there are like that, but this man and the TA should have done something a little different.
Okay.
And not lied to you about what happened.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Sanders. I'm going to close out anyway. All right. My brother from Indiana. Go. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, my brother. 2 minutes, and you can go talk. We're going to close it out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I basically said everything that I had to say in the last part. Like Mr. Social Worker said, this is probably worse than that. But this video should be a training video to anybody teaching in the state of Illinois or in you know what I'm saying, in charter schools or public schools, private schools, whatever. This is a prime example how it could have went wrong. And like the doctor said, you know, you playing with children's lives, you know what I'm saying? And parents don't take that lightly, you know what I'm saying? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, that woman would be hooping and hollering the same way about her child. So she knows she was dead wrong. And that, I just can't believe that male teacher just, oh my goodness, I can't believe the man, you know what I'm saying? Because men are supposed to have the control in a setting like that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Especially with male students, they're supposed to have a better bond. You know, I don't know what's going on in these schools nowadays. I just, you know what I'm saying? When I was going to school coming up, you know, we had bonds with our teachers, you know what I'm saying? We loved our teachers. Our teachers loved us, you know what I'm saying? We didn't disobey them. If we get too out of hand, we knew that, you know, we didn't cross that line, you know what I'm saying? So it's a different age now. But yeah, this need to be some type of training lesson for teachers and student teachers aid and stuff like that. That's all I got to say though. But you know, whether that kid was wrong, you know what I'm saying, no matter what, they should not have handled it like that, point blank. I don't care. I'm not going back and forth with a child under no circumstances. I'm gonna let him do his thing until he just is all out of his system. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's not physically hurt nobody, he can be over there hooping and hollering, cussing. I'm not doing anything. He can stand in the corner. He can bang on the floor. He can do all that. Because sometimes, like the social worker said, you have to let the kids get it out their system. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, the next day or the next 2 days is going to be whole different days. You know what I'm saying? And you can try to reach out then. So yeah, that's all I got to say. And Mom, I'm sorry that happened to your son, and do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying, to make this right.
Okay. Okay, Mom, I'm gonna give you the last word, but I got the social worker on here. Go ahead, social worker.
Okay, well, I want to say this, and kind of adding on to Dr. Sanders' point about charter schools. If I had my option, I would never send a child to a charter school, and this is why. You don't need to have a type 75 to be an administrator. You don't need to have a type 73 to be a teacher. The type 73 is called a professional educator license now, PEL. A lot of those requirements in a traditional school setting is just not required. And so it's literally the wild, wild west. You get adults in the building who are not qualified to be in there. And I'm assuming that this is who we're dealing with, because so you can't take a license away from somebody who don't have a license. When you send them to a traditional school setting, you can hold that adult accountable and hold them accountable to that license. Therefore, they have something at stake. You went to school for this. Not only did you attend a 4-year school and get a degree from it, you also did student teaching. It was a series of things you needed to do before you was put in front of these students. Not only that, once you become a teacher, you're supposed to have supervision weekly. And what supervision is, you meet with your principal. You meet with their principal, and you bring a case to them. You meet with them for about 1 hour every week. You talk about positives, things that need improvement. You bring a case to them, and all of these things that help you develop as a young adult, as a teacher, as a young professional. And you don't get those type of cases in a system of support that I'm describing. These charter schools are off the chain. And one thing about that video I noticed, it wasn't nothing but like 5 students in there. And not to minimize that, but if you have an adult in there who can't manage a classroom with 5 kids, you really don't need to be in that classroom. First of all, I'd have moved them out the way. I'd have put a circle. I'd have put us around in a circle, because there's too much space in between us. It's too impersonal. I would have definitely changed the dynamics of that classroom so it don't even look how it looks. You know what I mean? And I get to moving around. It's a lot of things you could do when you're qualified to work with students, when you're qualified to de-escalate, when you're qualified to work with diverse learners and students that present different types of behavioral and academic challenges. You know, these are very technical terms, and everyone shouldn't be allowed to be in the classrooms. You see what I'm saying? And so the first problem is you got the wrong people in the classroom. And I know that because of how they responded to the situation. The whole video, the young boy sitting down. You ain't got number 4, 5 students in that classroom. And you got 4, 5 adults in there. You got more adults in the classroom than kids. So we're failing these kids. Now, they need to take some accountability and ownership as well, but this on the adults right here. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't know the full details of it, but the adults and the school system, it's a systematic failure of what happened right here. And I'm going to just leave it at that.
Mr. Social Worker, let me ask you, so why they be hyping up these charter schools like they the best thing that ever happened then?
Business.
It's just a new alternative. Right. It's a new alternative to a system which people were complaining about. You know, so people were complaining about things like in a traditional school setting. So, okay, we're going to give you an alternative. You know, I can't really speak to it the way I need to, but it's a specific reason why the charter schools began to grow the way they are. It's a whole bunch of funding behind it and things like that, but it's meant to give parents an alternative to the traditional school setting that might be more favorable to their kids' academic process. But if you're not qualified to be no teacher, I don't want you in front of my kid.
Period.
You know, again, and this is very important, you need a type 75 to be an administrator. In a charter school, you can be a quote-unquote principal and don't have no type of administrative background in a school setting, which is very problematic. You know, you need a type 73 to be a teacher. Stuff that I had to go to school for and do a practicum and 2 years of supervision. Like, this stuff's serious before I was even able to be in the classroom. And in charter schools, adults could just bypass that just to get a job. They just people who need a job. And definitely unqualified to be in front of anybody's child.
Okay. Hold it right there, social worker. I'm gonna let mom. We're gonna end it with mom. Anything that you want to get off your chest, or we may miss, or anything, and we're gonna end this live with you, mom.
No, I just want to say I should have. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Yes, I would just want to say, I should have did my research a little bit better. You know, like the last caller said, I thought I was putting my son in a better position by enrolling him in a charter school. I felt like he wouldn't have gotten into that school had he not had an IEP. And, you know, I'm disappointed. You know, I'm angry. You know, I felt like, you know, he would get a better education there. I felt like they would be able to better, you know, cater to his disability needs. But as you can see in this video, you know, they failed on all levels. And again, I'm just, you know, I'm so disappointed. I'm so hurt. You know, I'm trying to rebuild his self-esteem. You know, the things that were said to him, like, you know, I'm just still in disbelief by her, you know, even calling him dumb. You know, I can't believe it. So, you know, I just really want to, you know, thank you. You know, I reached out to you, you know, to bring awareness to this situation. Like, I'm not getting anywhere with the school. So I really want to thank you for responding and putting me on your platform and sharing my story. You know, I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. And Kia Simmons said, don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. You know, don't blame yourself. You know, we don't know everything. You know, that's why.
Yeah, but it's just the things that was said to him. Like, how do I undo those words? Like, you know, and then they said them in front of his peers. You know, they send that laugh and, you know, they young, they don't understand. But, you know, I'm just hurt. Like, you know, I feel like what I had done better sending him to CPS, you know, but the classrooms are overcrowded again. I just feel like he would be better at that school, but you know, unfortunately, you know, this is what happened, and I'm just trying to see how to move forward. Like, but again, for all the people that's thinking like I'm blind to this situation with my son, I'm not. You know, I'm seeking counseling. I literally just had an IEP meeting with the school 2 weeks ago. The person that actually put her hands on him, she was actually a part of that meeting, so she know I'm already working on, you know, getting counseling for my son. So, you know, I'm not blind to this situation. You know, it is just a lot, and it's unfortunate, and I'm just trying to help my son move forward, because it was embarrassing, you know, his young man, you know, he can't really process it, you know, and I'm just hurt by the whole situation. And again, I haven't heard anything from the school, and it's really frustrating me. So I thank you for putting me on your platform and, you know, sharing my story again.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I won't just
stay strong, okay, sister?
Stay strong,
and
sister.
And you talk to that boy, you keep his courage up.
Right. And you know, and like I said, if you need me,
but it's hard, you know, like I told Martin, like I did tell you where I reside at. You know, I come from a neighborhood where men don't get up and work. You know, I'm a single parent as well. You know, I try my best, and with him being a special needs student, you know, I have to motivate him. I have to know that he can be just like everybody else. He can be whatever he want to be. And for him to, you know, for her to just call him dumb and stuff, like, you know, that wasn't right. Like, how, you know, do I recover? Like, you know, let him, I'm going to continue to let him know that he can be anything he want to be. Like, you're not dumb, you're smart, you can be smart just like everybody else. But, you know, it was just sad, just watching that video, like, it was just sad.
Very sad, very sad.
Terrible.
I'm so glad that I checked my messenger, you know, I'm so glad, and I reached out, and I'm glad. This is what I do. I listen, with nobody but God, sister, because when I was talking to you, I was quite busy. But I stopped what I had to do, and you know, I interrupt my program to hear your cry. You know, if I may use that term, cry. You weren't literally crying, but yeah. So I appreciate you, and continue to motivate your young man. You know, hey, and I know where you stay at. You got to do what you got to do for your son, because if you don't fight for your son, who else will? Who else will? And you got some wealth of information from here today. You had a doctor. She worked with the school system, a social worker. He's resigned from the school, but he's very familiar with different progress, how it works and all that. So you got good information. These are the type of people that I surround myself with when I need information. These are my advisors. Martin Johnson don't know everything. You know, the social worker explained it. Dr. Sanders explained it. They way more qualified than I am. I just have the platform and the ear and the eyes, and willing to listen, and the mouthpiece, just willing to listen. And when we come all together, we are forced to be reckoned with. The scripture said, iron sharpens iron, you know? So that's what we have to do. We have to sharpen one another. Because listen, if I made an individual, if Dr. Sanders made an individual, if the social worker made an individual, that's nothing. When we go against this system, we have to come together as a group to fight for what we want. You know, we can't have that. Our young black men are already a target when they're born in this world. And like I said in one of my previous lives, I think maybe earlier this year or last year, listen, my father never told me he loved me. Some of you guys out there have never seen your father, don't know who he is, but I've seen my father. I lived with my father all my adult life, all my, you know, coming up life as a young man. But he never told me that he loved me. And I'm going to go a little further than that. I don't never recall him hugging me. But he was there. He did a lot of things for me. We stayed in the same house. But this is real, people. I'm just not make-believe. And I love my father. But one thing I promised myself, when I have children, that I was going to tell them on a regular that I love them. That's what I do. I don't have to tell them I love them on a special occasion, on birthdays. I tell them just in the general conversation. I said, son, you know I love you. Daughter, you know I love you. I love you. And they say, I love you back. That means something. That means something. So as parents, we have to start embracing and loving on our children, even those that give us a little hard time. We got to spend a little bit more attention on them. Just like an ambulance. If I fall out and have a stroke amongst a lot of people, the ambulance is going to walk past the people that's upstanding. They're going to tend to the one that need the most. And I'm telling those parents that have special need children, you have to pay more attention to them, more than the other ones. And, you know, well, mom, you making a difference? No. Little son, little daughter, she need a little bit more tender love and care, if I may use them terms. So I want to thank mom for coming on here. I appreciate you. I love you, sister. I'm going to pray. And I get all the necessary information over to you for Dr. Sanders and things like that, okay? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I hope I didn't disappoint you today. All right. I'm my brother. All right, bless. Good night, everybody. This live, uncut, unedited.
Live, uncut,
all right.
unedited.
This is where we tell the truth. Good night.
Truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
Good night.
Good night. Amen. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night.